thanks so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me featuring some items from Chantecaille that I would recommend for those of you just starting with the line. If you'd like to see that, please keep watching. Thank you so much for the idea. I had a request to talk about items that I would recommend to those who might just be starting with Chantecaille, and I think now is a really great time in case you've always looked at it, because there are various sites with different promotions that apply to Chantecaille. So I will list those below if you're interested. When I thought about my recommendations, I really considered what's unique to this line that makes them special. So those are the things I included. I also did want to show you the before and after because I feel like it looks like I'm not wearing a lot of makeup right now, but when you do compare the before and after, you can see the difference. So let's go ahead and get started. I just have on eyebrows. We are going to start with one of my very first recommendations. I think skincare is so important, especially SPF. The Ultra Sun Protection Sunscreen, SPF 45, and it says primer as well. So you can use this as a primer. And what I love the most about this is there is no white cast with this one. And it's also one of those sunscreens that doesn't feel like greasy on your skin. Usually with a sunscreen, I can sense it. There are very few that I really like that I can't detect once it's on my skin, and this is one of them. So you do need to shake this though before you use it. And I do have several backups of this. That's how much I love this. So it says, can be worn alone over moisturizer as a daily sunscreen or under foundation as a protective smoothing primer. So it's more of a fluid. Does feel like skincare. So that would be one of my first things if you're just starting out with Chantecaille is the sunscreen. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but definitely just in terms of protecting your skin, I'm willing to invest in a really good SPF. Because as you can see, I do have the dark spots, but using sunscreen helps to keep all of this progress intact, because if I was to go out without sunscreen, these would probably pop out really quickly. To me, it's an investment in all the work I've been doing to keep my skin in good condition. Next on my list would be the Future Skin Foundation. It is not a new product to the market, but it is so unique. So the Future Skin in Cream is a great shade match for me, but I have these and I thought I'd swatch them in case you're close to skin tone, because I have also Sand and Shea. So Cream, Sand, and Shea. What makes this one so special is that it really melts into the skin. So if you are a non-foundation fan, which is very much my thing, I like the coverage, I just don't like the feeling of foundation. This never settles into any fine lines for me. It just does a great job of evening out skin tone. It's not the most full coverage foundation. Feels a lot like skincare though. So let's just go ahead and I'll do one side so you can see. And I can actually put quite a bit of this on and it doesn't ever get heavy or cakey. It's really just a very sheer skin-like finish. Doesn't look like foundation at all. This foundation melts into my skin. So the price point is higher on this than most of the other things I'm going to show you today. But I think if you just want one foundation and you like this type of coverage and you like something comfortable, then I would go with this. Okay, so this is Cream. It just brightens my complexion a bit. So I'm just gonna swatch these for you really quickly. Okay, so you're gonna see they looked kind of similar, but here they are. So if you're more olive tone than me, just slightly more rich, then this is a great one. And then this is just even more rich. So I hope that helps you, because I think they do look so similar online, but there's quite a difference. And I think I started out with this a long time ago and then decided I needed something lighter and I went with this, and then even lighter. This is when I got help from Janelle. So I'm gonna leave her Instagram information below. She works for Chantecaille, and she's been really helpful for me when it comes to color match. If you're not sure, you can direct message her and she'll be happy to help you. And then here's another option, the Tinted Moisturizer. This is very nice too. I just really think that the foundation is something special though. So I'm gonna swatch this next to all of these so you can see what tan looks like in case you are kind of trying to figure out based on any of these shades. So here is the tan. Again, Cream, Sand, no, Cream, Shea and Sand, and then this is the Tinted Moisturizer in Tan. So you can see it is a little bit deeper than Cream, but there is a kind of a coolness about it compared to these. So I hope that's helpful in case you were considering the Tinted Moisturizer as well. Now I love the Tinted Moisturizer mixed with the Elixir. So this is going to be my third recommendation for those of you who are just starting out because it's so multi-purpose. It's a skincare product. So I do use it in the morning and in the evening, but I also do mix it in with products. So I love it with this. So in case you have this, I also love it with this little trick that I'm going to credit Angela Rogers with this. She also works for Chantecaille. I saw her do this a couple of times where she's taken this Stylo and she has mixed it in with this and placed it under the eye. I did this in my live recently, although I don't know how visible it was, so we're going to try it here. So hopefully you can see. I think everything today I will be applying with my hands. Let me think. Yeah, I think I'm going to be using my hands for everything today. So bronzer, cheek, highlighter, eyes. Yeah, so no brushes today either, which is kind of fun. Okay, then we're going to take the Camouflage Stylo here, and I have mine in 4C, and it's a little bit brighter. And oh, here, let me swatch it next to Cream just so you can see. Here's Cream, here's 4C. I'm going to take this Radiance Elixir, so it comes in a dropper like this. It's got some iridescence to it. Let me see if I can swatch it next to. Just a very subtle glow iridescence about it. I'm going to mix these two and then I'm going to pat it under my eyes. So I'm combining the two just like this. I'll add a little bit more. That was kind of thin, but I'll show you how you can just brighten. So what I like about this is it doesn't cover your skin. It just brightens the area though that you apply it to. So we're just going to add it onto the eye area right here. Like I said, it doesn't look like makeup. It just does something to brighten. So here's the difference. This side versus this side. So I think you can see, oh yeah, I can definitely tell. I'm looking at it in the viewfinder. I can definitely tell the difference. But you can't detect that there's makeup on there, which I love. I mean, you can see the result. You can definitely see that you've done something, but you can't pinpoint what that is because I can't see any makeup sitting on the skin. I'm just going to pull it down here a little bit further too so we can see how this works on some discoloration. Now, I don't have anything by Chantecaille that is like a full coverage concealer, but for a no makeup where you can still see some imperfections, this is perfect for that. So I'm going to say it blurs more than it does conceal on these dark areas. But you can see there's a difference. There's a bit of a radiance about this in its finish. It's not sparkly or shimmery in any way, but you can tell it's not flat either. Here we are, some very light brightening and very light concealing versus this side. So you can definitely see a difference. Okay, let me just finish up the other side. I don't know if I'm going to powder yet. Let me see how it goes. Not only are these so easy to use, but they also don't feel like you're wearing tons of makeup. And then if you want to go in just a little bit more heavy, so right here, I'm going to target this right in this darkest area right here. Not the whole eye, just right here, because that is the darkest part. These, I think, are some of the most accessible products by them if you were just starting. So I've got the bronzer, I have a blush, and I have a highlighter. And these tubes last forever. This is like my second or maybe even third of this gel bronzer. This may be one of the very first items I ever purchased by Chantecaille, like years ago. I purchased this. So let's go ahead and add this. I love this tone. So I'm going to show this to you. My skin tone is pretty warm. So there's a golden tone in there. I'm not sure on cool skin tones how well this works, but I can tell you on mine, sometimes bronzer is hard to find. This is one of the ones that I pull for. Let me try this just on one side first so you can see. So I think you can see why this is a perfect no makeup. Again, difficult to detect, but you can see the result. Okay, next we're going in with the blush. I have mine in Lively. This is the most coral of them. So we're gonna go ahead and just tap this in. Actually, I just watched a Chantecaille rep on Instagram, and she talked about this. The best way to apply this is with your hands. So we're gonna take a little bit right here. Here's what it looks like before I put it on, so you can see how coral that is. I did order one, it's on the way, a different shade, because I love to layer my blushes. I ordered Happy, I think it was. You can see this is one of the easiest blush products to use. So again, if you have fine lines texture, this will not bring it out. So I know powder products, especially anything with shimmer in it, for me, can be an issue, right? Especially up in the front because of my discoloration. I'm gonna bring it up here and see if we can help out a little bit with my discoloration. See how that works. You can see again, these all melt. I think the foundation, the concealer, and the bronzer and blush, and then you'll see the highlighter in a moment. I think that's what makes these so unique to this brand. Typically, I would do this with a powder and just kind of go over the blush so it's not as apparent right in the front. Go ahead and apply this right here on the high points of the cheekbone. So you can see how natural of a glow this is. Definitely a glow. Let's add some to this side. Oh, that's too much. Just gonna take some, and then I'm just taking the excess and then moving it to my hand here. This is one of the more subtle highlighters that I have. Of course, you can build this up. I just like this. I mean, this is my kind of highlighter. Not too much, just a glow. Let's go in with eyes. I think these Mermaid Eye Mats are a good choice. They have lots of shades in terms of cool to warm to shimmery to mattes. So let's go ahead with Sylvie. I think this is the one that looks great on most people. It's a pretty taupe color, so I'm just gonna apply that to my eye all over and use my fingers. You'll see how easy these are to use. I haven't primed my eyes or anything. Usually I'll put primer. Not today. No primer necessary. I don't get creasing with these. So there is Sylvie on. So you can see it just evens out the skin tone. Just gives me a little bit of color though. It's very neutral. But there's a beautiful sheen to this one. And then it just really blends easily using your fingers here like this. So you could go like this and be done, but I have a few more, so I just want to use them while I'm here. Then I've got the shade B. I'm going to build a little bit of dimension, just a little bit. It's a dark brown color, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the, crease area, right on the exterior though. Kind of like I would with a shadow, really lightly, and in the outer corner. Just building just the slightest dimension, just the slightest though. Okay, so there's a difference. Very, very subtle. So I'm focusing it more towards the exterior here, and then also right on the end. Let's see, you know what, I'm gonna take Sylvie under the eye, but I'm still going to use my fingers. Probably a brush would be better for this, but let's just use, I said we're gonna just not use brushes today, so I'll show you what it looks like if you decide not to use a brush. So that's right under the lash line. We're gonna go ahead with a couple more just because I love these. I have here Copper. So I'll try and find this one. This one seems a little bit harder to find. This one had a little accident, it fell down, but this one has some shimmer to it, which is why I love it so much. So we're gonna add that on. So let's go ahead on the eye. So you'll see that subtle, okay, so this is a little bit more than no makeup. I probably could have stopped at this point, but I just love this shade so much. So we're gonna just do a little thin layer of it. You can go in a little bit heavier if you want with this, but it just brightens a little bit of shimmer, just like the slightest. Okay, then we're gonna take a little bit of Lion, which is this shade, so pretty, and we're going to go in the inner corner. And we're gonna take Sylvie right now. I'm gonna put this in my waterline because I get some redness there sometimes. And so this just does a nice job of evening it out. Now we're going to take a little bit of eyeliner. So I love their eyeliners. I have two. I've got Black Forest and I have Earth. So I'm going to tightline with Earth because I think that when you do that, it just boosts the lash line. It makes your lashes look more full. This one's really like soft and glides on really easily. So it's not going to irritate. Usually if I do that with a different pencil, it might turn my eyes a little bit red, but that doesn't happen with this one. I'm gonna go in between my lashes a little bit here too, just to get in there, really at the base. Or I should have done a side by side, oops. So we're just gonna go just slightly, and then I'm going to dot this on the lower lash line. Just dot it like this. So I don't have a solid line, I just have a few dots going, not a few, but just intermittent dots at different intensities. Doesn't have to be totally even. Just to boost again that lash line. I'll do the other eye in a second so you can see, but the Chantecaille mascara, I have the Faux. This is, okay, so I was just listening to, again, that rep, and the reason why this doesn't dry out and clump like other mascaras is because they don't use typical ingredients that are used in a lot of other mascaras, because I've had this one, I think for months. I did order a new one of these. Okay, so this is a bit of a splurge because it is mascara, but I think, again, these are things that make a big difference. So it might not be, you know, the most exciting eyeshadow color or anything like that, but the right mascara makes such a difference. You can see, like, even though this is not by any means new, it's just about time to probably get rid of this one. And I love to put on layers and layers of mascara. Okay, this is probably not the most natural mascara, but that's okay. I'm gonna kind of push them in this direction instead of up. I wanna push them out a little bit towards this way. So that's the difference. Mascara makes a huge difference. Let me finish this eye and then we've got to come back with the lip. I'm going to just check on the concealer as well and see how we're doing. I did add just a little bit more blush and concealer to the front here. Let's go in with a lip. This one is well known. It is their Lip Veil in Honey Pot, which again, I think looks great on a lot of people. And my mom actually purchased this, where were we? San Diego. And after she purchased it, then I went ahead and ordered it because I really liked how it looked. I hesitated on this, but I know it's available sometimes, some places, like in Europe it might be available too. I will try and find it, but the hummingbird powder, and I also heard this may be coming back in some other packaging. In case you're seeing this in the far future and maybe there's more available at some point, because I just use this every day. So I'm gonna powder right in front. So you can not powder, but this really helps to color correct just a little bit and perfect in the front here. Although that concealer did a pretty good job without getting cakey, which is one other thing about concealers. When I add layers and layers, typically I get a lot of texture. This one doesn't do that. So that's why I was able to build it up a little bit and still look like skin. I mean, I think it looks really pretty, but let's just put just a little bit of this on, just in the center. Also because I don't want this to move around so much. So there it is with just a little bit of that hummingbird powder. And since I did put more makeup here, I do want to make sure it doesn't travel. I just wanted to show you that before and after again, because I really feel like it doesn't look like I have a lot on, especially compared to what I'm normally wearing in videos. But you can see the result that you get, even though the makeup itself may not be detectable. Let's go ahead though and quickly run through what I talked about, starting with the SPF. Sun protection is the main thing. If I had nothing else here, I would go with this because I do want to protect my skin. It makes application of makeup so much easier when there's less to fix. So with those darker areas, keeping them out of the sun keeps them from getting any darker than they already are. They are so much lighter than they have been. I attribute that to skincare as well as protecting them from the sun. Then for the foundation, this melts in. If you're not sure of the shade that you should pick, I would definitely do a consultation with a Chantecaille representative. So if the shade match is a concern to you, I would definitely use those resources to help out. These gel products just melt in the skin, just like the foundation. That's why I love them so much. And then onto the eye shades, these Mermaid Eye Mats. I think Sylvie, again, if you're going to choose one, is a pretty one and done, very subtle kind of makeup, just evens out the skin tone. And then you can build dimension as well. I will list them kind of in rank order down below if you'd like to see. They are just easy to blend. You don't need a brush. Again, easy one and dones. Then for the eyeliners, I love Earth because I think for especially no makeup, instead of a black, a brown is a bit softer. So just in that tight line area, and then also using it to dot along the bottom lash. There is no tugging with these eyeliners, which I love. Very smooth going on. If you're going to pick a color, I would recommend Black Forest. I love this one. It's a beautiful green shade. I think like blues and purples are more readily available in other lines, but this one's a little bit harder to find, so I recommend Black Forest. Oh, the Radiance Elixir, just want to talk about that really quickly. Again, multitasking. I use it as skincare morning and evening, as well as mixing in with the Tinted Moisturizer and with the Camouflage Stylo. The Camouflage Stylo is a really nice one if you want something light to light medium coverage. There's a little bit of a radiance about it, so that's why I think you don't have the whole idea of covering up the skin, rather refracting the light a bit. Then for the lip veils, these are really hydrating if you've never tried them. This is one of the most popular shades that works on a lot of people. Then if you want to go a step further, make it a little bit more exciting, I will include all the swatches of the Luminescent Eye Shades that I have. Actually, I have all of the shades, so you can take a look at them, but that would be my one additional thing. I didn't want to put it on today because that wouldn't really be a no makeup. These are very multi-dimensional, so it just takes one shade. So you can actually pick up just one shade and do a whole eye look with it. I love this dry as well as with some water. When you add water, there's a bit of a foiled finish to it. You can pick one and have a whole day to evening look if you want, if you like a little bit of shimmer. These are award-winning as well. Now's a good time to pick up one if you wanted to pick up one. Again, I will leave all the information about where I have seen these on sale and their discounts, as well as their date ranges, because they are different. So if you did want to try something, I hope that helped you out. But that is it for today's video. So please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks.